The reason that black women, especially African American women, are viewed as masculine exists for a reason. We live in a patriarchal society that thrives on toxic masculinity. So by portraying black women as masculine, they then have to live by the rules of both femininity and masculinity. When black women are portrayed as loud and masculine, they are then treated the same way that this patriarchal society treats men when it comes to abuse, and it is not taken seriously. Black women are portrayed as masculine so that they can be abused as women and ignored as men.
Look, I am a high-valued alpha male, and I require a female who is of equal value to me. She needs to be very attractive. I'm talking at least an 8, okay? Her attire must be modest, but still slutty enough for me to be interested. But I don't want a bunch of guys hitting on her. I mean, my woman needs to understand that I am a man. So, like, biologically, I am just wired to be with as many women as possible. However, she needs to understand that as long as she's with me, she's not allowed to be friends with, be associated with, or even know any other men. Not even her family. In fact, as long as we're together, she can only speak to her father and or brothers through female proxies. Feminism has ruined dating. No, No, I don't want to date a feminist. I want a woman who understands and respects traditional gender roles, who will cook and clean and keep me happy when I get home from a hard day at work. What do? I'm a high-valued male with an entrepreneurial spirit, okay? I mean, if you think about it, with as much Call of Duty as I play, I'm basically a tactical genius. I mean, if the military ever tried to draft me, I really feel like they'd fast-track me through officer training. I mean, come on. Jordan Peterson said it best, real men eat meat. Vegetables are for betas. Women love a man who loved their mother. And what better way to love your mother than to live with her and allow her to wash your Lord of the Rings shirts? And if any women don't want to be with me, it's because they can't handle the responsibility of being in a relationship with a well-read, well-educated alpha like myself. Feminism.
But it's interesting that your reaction is to attack the men who are leaving and tell them that they're losers who aren't good enough to get a woman in the West. Yep, once again, it's the man's fault. And you attack us Asian women too. You call us poor, uneducated, submissive, desperate women who are happy with your table scraps and rejects. But if you truly believe we were getting your leftovers, the men you don't want anyway, then why do you sound so angry and defensive about it and try to shame men for finding happiness here? Wouldn't you be thanking us for taking out your trash? And as far as Filipino women being uneducated, we have the same percentage of college graduates that you do, and what you call submissive is what we call being agreeable. Do I look uneducated, submissive, and desperate to you? Well, guess what? There are millions more like me over here, just waiting to have a shot at making your men happy. You also call us gold diggers and claim that we only want green cards to escape to the promised land. Well, I hate to burst your bubble, but many of us Filipinos are happy to stay right where we are.
Okay, ladies. Okay. We got the message. And as an African woman, I'm like, why did she feel the need to do that video? Because I'm African. And if you're crying about people coming over there and looking for, a partner, this is a promotion. And it is, I'm just going to call it is disappointing and disgraceful. That is what it is. I'm going to call it what it is. Because at this point, I'm like, if I was from there, I wouldn't want to be associated with this. Because this is what you're making of your image now. And I don't know what you mean by when they, because as an African woman, I'm from the whole, like, far away. And it's very hard to see African women doing this kind of videos. And trust me, we have a lot of foreign men, foreign over there, both Asian, both Europeans. But it's very difficult to see somebody come up and make a video like this, make an advertisement. And it makes me think, what is going on in your head? What is going on? And I understand that, gassing up somebody, telling you're the best, you're submissive, you're agreeable. She said they're not submissive, they're agreeable, which actually sounds like almost the same thing. And I'm like, wow. Have you seen what's been happening nowadays? Because yeah, I've been just like, okay. When I saw that video in TikTok, I was like, okay, you know what, we're gonna talk about this. Because in TikTok, I also came across a video of a woman begging for help from African American women, Black women, to be precise, about her having a mixed child, how you would call it biracial, but I just call it mixed. And she needed help because she could not, teach her son what was going on in the society, and he had to learn this on his own. But before we get there, I'm just downloading the main video, what we're going to be talking about, which actually concerns this woman that was cheated on, because she's the main topic today. But it seems I don't understand. My Wi-Fi is very, very slow. The downloading is very, very slow. But we're going to talk about this and wait until all the download comes up. Now, my question is, who funded this campaign? It's giving me somebody's bitter, and I feel like I'm not being seen, so I'm gonna try to compare myself to the women over there. And I'm like, why do you feel the need to make a whole video about people hating? Nobody talked about. I've never heard anybody, to be sincere, I never heard anybody talking about women outside are uneducated. Even as an African woman myself, I've never heard it of people saying you are uneducated. That is absolute untrue. That is not true. Hi, Sun and Sunflower Girl. How are you? So it's like it's giving at this point a little bit of desperation. It is what it's giving. It's giving a little bit of see me because you haven't seen me enough. And I'm like, you are talking, I don't know which women she's talking about, because she's just saying they, so I'm going to keep it at the they. And as a woman that is from another continent myself, I don't find this amusing or like it's giving pick me vibes. That's what it's giving. It's giving pick me. I'm here vibes. I'm living in Europe. I'm going to say this. I've seen a lot of people that are married get divorced, both Europeans and Africans, and everybody get divorced. One of my friends, she's from Thailand. She separated with her husband because, you know, things are not going fine. And she had to separate. Although she's still taking care of his mom, she separated. And I'm like, you think you're going to get a better treatment? The only difference is if you can actually find somebody that is genuinely in love with you and respect you and does not ask for submission. What is submission, by the way? Let's talk about this submission that have been going on. It is becoming a trend, especially in TikTok. You ain't submissive enough. And I'm like, what do you mean by submission? Because explain to me the submission. I understand some people come with some uh, explanation that absolutely does not make any sense. Oh, I want her to be the woman in the house. I'm like, okay. Well, there are women that would absolutely love to be women in the house. So what's next? Oh, she has to also, get a job and help the house. So you want her to be your roommate and you want her to clean the house, take care of you like a man child, and give you submission. Now, is that fair? Imagine if the table was turned around and a woman would ask, I want him to be submitted to me. I want him to actually do the submission thing. Don't say a word when I say something. Agree with me on everything. And, that's my decision. I don't know why this video is not downloading. Sorry, I'm using my phone. I don't know if I should switch to my tablet or to my laptop. This is absolutely not downloading because this topic is something that I really want to talk about. And it's getting hard to actually download this here. I'm gonna try it again and then maybe I will try with my laptop if it's not going here. Now, this video, if you watched it, it's giving, oh, you think I'm broke? I'm not. See me as your rival. See me as equal. Which no woman, I haven't had any woman actually talked about you're not equally educated. And I don't understand where the narrative is. Is it the men that are feeding you that? Because not all men do this, by the way. But the ones that are doing this, are they feeding you the narrative that other women see you as less? Because, darling, I don't think any woman sees you as less. They just see you as another one that is that's gonna be going through the same things that they've been going through. And when you hear a lot of women coming out here screaming and crying and saying, okay, I don't want this kind of treatment, it's for a reason. And for women that actually have this mindset, and towards, I think mostly American women, because that's what that video was for. I don't think it's for African women because we're probably sitting down here looking at that, be like, God, okay. So maybe I don't know who you're narrating it to, but it sounds like it's gonna be to the women in the U.S. I'm like, why don't you sit down and think about why are these women actually behaving this way, saying they don't want them, and you're talking about taking the scraps, as you stated, not my words, but your words, as you said, taking their scraps. Why do you feel like, why don't you sit down and just think about why do these women behave this way? Is it because the people that they're sending or the people that are coming over there, the guys, are actually doing so well, doing so good over here, treating the women good and respecting the women? That's why they're over everywhere. Do you think the women are giving princess treatments over there? That's why you're having this kind of mentality and you are actually coming out and calling women out from these countries. Do you think these women are having all the princess queen treatment and they don't want this particular men that you're talking about, because it's not all, and they don't want them? Because for me, what it's giving is, okay, since you don't want them and you know that it's grabs that are coming over here, I'm just going to make it sound like we're getting gold. Darling, nobody's angry or upset that you're getting gold. Get the gold. That many women have been saying for a long time, even on TikTok, you want the gold, go get it. Go get the gold. If you think it's they are so, good, have them. Just have them. Instead of coming out and trying to talk to other women, I got the same degrees like you have. And they're telling women over here that your degree doesn't matter. They're telling them that it doesn't matter. Your degree it doesn't matter because you're a woman, and your degree is your degree gonna keep you warm at night? All talking about, a lot of African American women have degrees and have a means of taking care of themselves. And many of them are just saying, I want some respect in my house. I don't want you cheating on me. I don't want you going out and making a mockery of me. Now, I don't understand why this video is not downloading, but it is literally driving me insane. So there was this other lady when I went to TikTok and I was scrolling down, and she was talking about she had a mixed child and she needed Black women to step up and tell her, come up and help me out. And I'm like, didn't you think about this? Because she later on got married, and she called, well, they call it white babies. The siblings are white. The child start understanding that people don't treat him with so much respect as they would treat his siblings. And I'm like, so it's like I'm coming out and asking Caucasian women or white women, whatever you want to call them, or European women for help on how to raise my own daughter. It's like I'm coming out and asking them for help how to raise my baby. I have a boy. He's also mixed. I have my own kid. She's mixed. And it's like me coming out and saying, I don't know how to actually interpret how to be, white. And this is one thing I want to ask some people. Why do some people feel the need, especially in the US, because this is not global. This is mostly in the US, by the way. Why is there a need to actually just tell your kid, especially if they're mixed, that they're Black? What about your own side? Why is it necessary to tell them that they're Black? Because I went to another TikTok and another lady, she was mixed. And she was talking about her mother let her know that she's Black from the get-go. Her mother actually taught her and let her understand that she's Black. And I'm like, shouldn't she be teaching you that you're mixed, that you are both from both sides? Why is she pushing the narrative directly to the Black side? Is it that anybody can just jump into the Black pool? Is it that? Oh, you know what? You're not gonna be my color, but I'm not gonna let you know exactly what you are. So I'm just gonna push you to the other side. And then these children would come up and start crying about not being Black enough or not being this enough. Because see, it is problematic, even as a woman that has mixed kids over here, to literally push one agenda, one side to your kids and be like, oh, you this. It's like I'm going to my kids and saying, you're white. Your father is white, so you're white. That is disingenuous. That is disingenuous because you have to let the kids know, I made you, I was a part of this. Your father is a part of this. You're mixed. So embrace yourself, love yourself for the way you are, instead of literally pushing them to a community which they will actually have to face another kind of, people will tell them, they will inform them. And this is something that I think African Americans have been accepting for so long, and now they've started to understand that this is not in their favor, so they're pushing back, especially the women. They're pushing back and telling you, no, no, you can't be me. You cannot come from this woman and represent me, which is their right to actually say that. Because imagine the other lady that was telling that her mother let her know she's black. I'm like, your mother did not do. A lot of people might say, oh, she did a good job to actually tell her about the culture. And I'm like, no, she did not do a good job, because she's pushing you to actually identify as another woman that you are not, by the way. You are not that woman. That woman that she's telling you you are, you are not. You mix. Embrace it. There is nothing shameful about it. You're part of both culture. It's something that you should be happy about. Your parents probably made you out of love. But, we know some men do not make it out of love. They make it out of, I don't like the way I look, and I'm just going to go over there and do whatever, it makes me happy. But also not teaching their children. This is one thing I love about Europe. If you mix, you mix over here. And I've been hearing some people say, oh, in London or in UK, if you're black, they see you. I'm like, nah. I have some people living there. If you mix, you mix. And if you want to go in the narrative, maybe they can see you as another color. It's not absolutely white, but they know that you're mixed, and they do not push you into a big frenzy, into an agenda of, oh yeah, this is what. Well, and let's talk about submissive, because I want to bring up this video. It's been a lot. This video I found, and I'm gonna come back.
Women don't submit anymore. No, women don't submit to you. Women are natural to submission. I don't care how strong and independent she is. So here's the disconnect. Are you looking for forced submission? So ask yourself, why won't she really submit? Here it is. Women are not their grandparents anymore, okay? Women are not looking for a husband and to become a housewife and to bear children. No, they're not looking for that anymore. A lot of women come from a split home with a double Dutch dad who jumps in and out of their lives as he chooses. And that's where the fear and discord between men and women come from. That ideal or that example, that is what they seen. So why won't she submit? You got time? Do you display wise leadership? Do you give a good sense of direction? Are you dependable? Are you consistent? Are you trustworthy? How can she trust your direction? Every decision that you make, you have to run to mommy to help you create that decision. How is she going to follow a boy? She got to sit on her and put on her big woman panties and raise a boy. So what sense does that make? When has a teacher ever submitted to a student? She's raising you and you want her to submit to you. Yeah, I'm gonna take it there. Yeah, we fall for the okie doke. A lot of women fall for the okie doke because a lot of boys pose as men, and eventually time and circumstance manifest that unreliable, irresponsible, inconsistent, unfaithful child that boy actually really is. So yeah, we fall for the okie doke because I know a lot of y'all finna come to me about that. So how can a woman feel safe in a chaotic environment? So ask yourself, are you reliable? Are you consistent? Are you trustworthy? Do you make her feel emotionally, mentally, and physically secure? Are you emotionally available? Many women want to feel secure and be vulnerable. But how can she be secure and be vulnerable and even submit to you in a chaotic environment where you display poor leadership skills? So before you go and decide that you want to ask, why won't she submit to me? Why women don't submit? Women don't do. Ask yourself, are you a man worth submitting to?
Now, she said a lot, which actually makes sense, because all this submission topic is just getting out of hand. And I'm like, and then you cry that you're single. And then you had these other women over here doing an advert. I'm gonna play that for those that haven't seen it later on. I'm probably gonna put it in my shorts, but it's 1 minute 15 seconds, so it's longer than a short video. So I want you, any woman from any ethnicity, that think you can actually shame women because they don't care. It's giving desperation at this point. Or whatever country, it doesn't even matter with ethnicity or color or race, and you come up online and start talking to women of a particular country or ethnicity or race, whatever you want to call it, and start telling them the way she actually did. Oh, you think we're taking your scraps? Why do you feel the need to come up and talk about the scraps? If you're getting gold, keep the gold. There is a lot of women out here crying. They got the gold, and I'm wondering what they're doing with the gold. Now I'm gonna talk about this lady over here. She is a TikToker, and another lady actually texted her about, you know, that they're dating the same man. And she thought it was a bot at first, but later on, she actually got a call from this woman several times. And she decided, you know what, I'm going to check on this and see what's really happening. So let's not forget, this woman is a very committed woman, by the way. She's committed to this relationship. So let's go.
Okay, so the story time is I found out on TikTok yesterday, a girl I've never met told me that she had been seeing my boyfriend this whole time, so here I am moving out. My heart is broken. It's the worst feeling I've ever felt in my life. I had to get a storage unit and move out ASAP because I will not tolerate that. I will not have my child around that, and as most of you guys know, I was going through IVF and I was in deep, so I was trying to have a child with him and just doing the most. Also, there's my prescription because I can't eat, sleep, blink, nothing. I feel like a robot. But here I am packing up my car, and then I found this in the house, and this is not mine. So I'm just like sick to my stomach, so sick. And then this keeps popping up, and like my heart is broken. So ew. But here are the movers. We loaded my stuff up, and we are out. And at the end of the day, this is not for attention. This is for healing, and I know that I'm going to grow from this situation, and I'm holding myself accountable, and by this I'm going to look back in months from now, I'll be thriving. So here we are. Okay, guys, so I am going to go ahead and do a story time since my phone is just blowing up and everyone keeps requesting it, and I just want to get it out and over with, and then we're going to move on. So long story short, Friday, the day before my 24th birthday, a girl messaged me on TikTok and said, I think we've been messing with the same man. I've been trying to message you. So I didn't know who this girl was. At first, I thought it was a bot. I was like, there's no way that this is true. So then I see my Instagram, and a girl has been calling me all day long. Well, I didn't see it because I'm at work. So I finally answer the girl. I call her back, and she's like, are you with so-and-so? And I'm like, am I with him? We live together. We have a whole family together, 3 kids, the whole 9. And so she's like, well, we've been together for the last year, and I'm pregnant. As you can imagine, my heart broke. I'm crying, I'm boo-hooing, and like my whole world was just flipped upside down immediately. So she told me this long story. Okay, cool. I'm not blaming her. I'm not coming at her. It's not her fault. So moving on. I text my man, at the time my ex, and I said, bring my daughter home now. He's like, why? What's wrong? But mind you, he already knew what was going down because she had told him she found my TikTok. So, continue on. I tell him, bring my daughter home now, and he brings her home. I looked at him. I said, there's nothing you can ever say to me. You need to get your belongings. You need to leave until I can get my stuff out. I think he thought I was kidding. He took his belongings. He didn't say one word to me. He didn't look at me, nothing. He already knew what it was. And I didn't cry at this time because I had to stay strong, and I had my little mini-me in the back, so we are not doing all that. So anyways, I found movers. I found well, with the help of a friend, you know who you are, I found movers and a storage unit in less than 24 hours. I got all my stuff out, and we are starting from scratch all over in Tampa, Florida. Those of you that have been following me know that I just moved here, so this is going to be a little bit of a roller coaster, but I will not let somebody play with me like that. And I was going through IVF. I've been through multiple procedures, and just everyone that has been following me, you already know how deep I was in. So that this man laid beside me every single night and lied, and just, that's just the story. So good news is I'm going to take you guys along on the journey with me as I bounce back, and everything's fine. Addie's good. She's happy. Say hey. You're not happy?
No.
Ah!
I shot at you.
Okay, well, she's a little tired. But she is happy, and we're going to be good, and that's the story, so stay tuned.
Okay, I don't feel the baby girl is happy, and I don't blame the mother. Before I open the line, please, I want to say this. Do not use the N word. If you want to call somebody, if you want to say something else, you can call Dusties. But the N word or any other word is not acceptable, because last video I had to take down because of that. So please mind and respect the rules. Do not use the N word. Dusties is just fine. So I'm going to invite somebody up here. Hi there, how are you?
Good morning, Kara. I mean, Karen. Sorry, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's
But,
fine.
but yeah, and I apologize about the last time because I know it was probably me. But yes. So this last video that you showed, what it bothers me a little bit, like on just a woman's perspective. I don't
Hello?
really. Yes, can you hear me? Hold on. Karen, can you hear me?
You back?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, I'm so sorry about that. Yes, so no, so this video here bothers me just a little bit on just a woman to woman perspective, because and I saw this early last night or this morning, one of them. And what bothers me was, number one, the IVF. That was the first thing. It's like, okay, you want to have I think she said they have 3 kids already. So you want to
Yeah.
have another kid by this Dusty that is not your husband. Okay, all right, that's the first thing that bothered me. The second thing that bothered me, or that I saw in this, was like, okay, you were able to get up and move out like the next day. That means you were paying all the bills there, and you were probably already about to move into another place because you had a deposit plus, or maybe just some extra money. You had the money to go get you another place within the next day. So you were paying all the bills there, but you want to have another baby desperately by this Dusty? I'm confused.
I don't think she knew. I absolutely don't think she knew. And her decision on leaving is one thing that I actually respect. She did not let him play her like that. And that's one thing I actually respect when it came to her decision making. And do you want to see what this guy looked like? Let me see if I found a video of somebody talking about
You
this.
got to
Let me
give a
just play
trigger warning because I'm suspecting it looks something like a gremlin.
it.
So first off, I'm nosy. So when I heard the story, the first thing I'm thinking is, okay, well, how did the girl even know what her man looked like? So I had to go see. She must have been posting them before in order for somebody to come on here and say that they messing with the same dude. And then it was like, I'm curious because I want to know what he looked like, because for you to have this level of audacity to be willing to risk your whole family, and you got a beautiful girl and a beautiful daughter, like, what do you look like? I go see that picture. Typical. It's always them ones who should have never ended up with these girls in the first place should be lucky to even have gotten what they got and be somewhere cheating. It's always them. That's why when girls be like, they want a dude who not attractive because he gonna act better. Absolutely not is he gonna act better. They act worse than fine men.
So you've seen the guy. What do you think? I wasn't surprised.
It's especially them dark ass greasy eyeballs. It's giving early stage gal.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised because I mean, at this point, it's like they're creating a stereotype for themselves because everybody's out here with kids talking about men cheating and them leaving. And that is why this video over here, because did you start from the beginning? Did you come in earlier? Because did you see the Asian woman that was telling, I think, American women that they were not getting scraps?
Yes, I saw that. That was the first thing where, like, the first comment I made was like, "Oh no, the passport bros are fucking up bad because, oh wait, I can't cuss. Are messing up bad because how are they over there saying like, oh, we're gonna bring them back, make them wise, and they're over there saying like, we don't want to be your wives. We are just fine right here in Thailand."
But it's giving for me, as somebody that is from the diaspora, I feel like that video should have never been made. She should have not made, because now you the signal she's giving is not positive anymore. You know what I mean? You can devalue your own standards in just opening your mouth like that.
Yeah, but then again, you gotta realize that they're really like going over there for sex, sex. So, aren't they? Do they really care in the first place, or are they just doing it for money?
That's the thing. I also saw a lot of videos of some people, some guy talking about where not to travel because the women just want you for money, where not to go, and I'm like,
But
well, I'm not surprised that they catch on, because if you're treating the women back home terribly, what makes you think another woman outside would look at you and be like, yeah, you're gonna treat me better? Because at the end of the day, they're gonna be treated worse or the same. And this is the
yeah,
thing. And this is the thing. Even snow bunnies have actually caught up to this already. They've started noticing.
right. And I'm right. That's what you were saying on your last live. Is like you really think you can go all over the world and travel, and they don't know who you are. You were saying how you think we don't have electricity? You think we don't have internet? You think other people don't have internet because they live in a third world country? They have TikTok. They have all this stuff, and they see who you are.
Exactly, because everybody does. Everybody sees. And this is the thing. Even if somebody's living in the village, they have internet, especially in Africa nowadays. Everybody got internet. Everybody's connected to social media one way or the other. Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. It is something that is popular now, that is very hard to find somebody back there, back home in even in the continent, where they don't have internet and they don't know what is happening. They're watching, especially when it comes to political topic or any other topic. And then when women come across topics like this, they kind of like, and I don't think it's only in the diaspora, I think this is worldwide, where every woman sees this. And if you literally disparaging women from your own place like this, other women are going to actually take count of that and look at it and be like, okay, I understand you say the women back home or in your home are not good. Why are they not good? Why are those women not good? And what have you done to contribute to that kind of behavior?
Right. And I sometimes I believe that it's because they're trying of like if someone lives in a third world country and they're any everything that they do it's not a waste of time. It's like they need to have a beneficiary to dealing with whatever they're doing. It doesn't matter if it's like, okay, if they're going to the, like, let me give an example. If we're going to the village or we're going to the market or whatever, and I have to walk 5 miles to go there. I'm not going just going there to go hang out. I'm going there to get everything that I need so I don't have to do this shit, but for nothing.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
so I feel like that's even in Thailand, where they, or in other countries where like sex work is really like rampant. and they literally have signs that says no black guys, because they know there's like, look, we don't have time for the cheap shit, we don't have time for to play any games, doing extra stuff. We need this, get in, get out, and get the fuck on.
You know what? We're not gonna say no black guys because there's a certain rules. So we're gonna just say others. That's one thing I try to remove because YouTube says you cannot generalize everybody. So we're just gonna say some, you know.
Okay.
And so some, with that being
Okay.
said. Now, with that being said, I'm like, okay, this is something. Every many traditions actually expect women to look up to their husbands for providing. So if you cannot provide for your household, a lot of women will not find you attractive. They will not find you as a suitable companion, especially when you go to any, if you want to call it the third world countries. Those women mostly rely on the men to actually bring the food, but that does not mean that the men don't have to follow some certain rules. They also have to follow it. Like, I'm going to give you an example. Like in Cameroon, there are more men than there are women, more, like in millions than there are women. You do you think the men over there are making noise? No, they are not making noise. In Nigeria, the same thing, more men than women. Many of these countries have more men than India, more men than women. And this is the thing. So when you have enough women that are willing to settle down but want you to actually respect them, some of these women are willing to go to work, bring home the meal, but all they want is that you pull your weight. And if you cannot pull your weight, they don't want that.
Yeah, I don't see how it would be. I think that's natural. Because I don't see how you would, especially when you were talking about like dowries and stuff like that. It's like, how
Mhm.
can you expect this woman to leave her father's house, and then you don't supply the same thing that her father was bringing to her.
Exactly, because many of the women are being cared for by their parents. The clothes, the food, everything. Even the education is being funded. You understand? So, with that being said, you go in and thinking a woman is going to be funded by her parents, like raised, and then she's going to get a job, and then she's going to look at you and be like, yes, I'm going to also, go out, work, bring the same money, and take care of this household. Most, like in my own culture, is even not acceptable. The woman mostly just keep the money because at the end of the day the money is becomes an inheritance for the children, or whenever something really goes really bad, then that money is actually used when the husband is absolutely penniless. But that does not mean you have to come marry her penniless. You have to already build yourself and then go home or go wherever you think the woman is, and pay for the dowry, like in some traditions, and then bring her. But she has to enjoy the fruit of your labor before that penny that she even have can be contributed in any way. And what I'm seeing is some people asking women, even I saw some TikTok where they were asking some women, and I saw another TikTok from an African, I think they're Africans, and they asked this African lady, would you build a man? And she said no, and the guy was like, why? I'm like, when did we start getting this mentality? Because I don't think they're back home. I think they must be somewhere else. And she said, no, I would not build a man. It's not how I was raised. And I'm like, exactly. Why would you expect her to leave what her parents taught her? Do you think it was not working for her parents? Do you think it was not working for them? Do you think that the standards and the way that these women were raised is wrong? Because it's not. That's why many people have a long lasting marriage.
You
Because,
are you are
yeah,
so right about that, because a lot of times, well, this was before when I used to date black or other, um,
mm-hmm.
you
I
know,
get it. Others. Or
Other,
you can
yeah.
just say Dusties.
Dusties. Okay, when I used to date Dusties, and I'm sorry about the beeping. When I used to date them, I used to tell them like, no, my dad, because I was raised by my dad. So I'm like, no, my dad didn't tell me to do that. Like, no, I'm not doing that. My dad didn't teach me. He didn't tell me I had to do stuff like that. And they were like, oh, well, I'm not your dad. I'm like, but my dad raised me. Like, he told me not to do stuff like that for men. He told me not to leave. When I come out there and I try to help him with the yard, he he didn't let me help him with the yard. Maybe help like hold the bag open to pick up the leaves, but he didn't make me rake. He
True.
didn't. He didn't make me do stuff like that. So if you're saying like, oh, show me how to love you. Nah, no, no.
That's another thing. When they talk about show me how to love you, it's giving me I want a mom.
Yeah, but it's like, and then it's like, if I have to show you how to love me, I'm telling you what I want you to do, and you're not doing it because of you. You're doing it because I asked you to do it. Like you're not doing it because you're genuine. You're doing it because you want to keep peace.
Yeah, and another thing is when I don't think a man that actually genuinely loves a woman would absolutely be mad because she does not want to actually contribute. I've seen men in my own community that pursue, like physically, I've literally seen it growing up since I was a child. Pursue a woman that would look at them and say, you have not gotten to the level of the kind of man I want. When you get there, and I'm still single, you can come back. I've seen men travel out, literally leave the country, go make it outside. That's why when a lot of people are talking about some Africans going back to get married, there is a lot of topic that has to be spoken about in this particular topic, because when you go to on average some women back home and they tell you have not gotten to the space that I want you to be financially, you cannot take care of me, you cannot. An insurance to the woman that, hey, you look at this house, this is yours, and this car, we can stay here, I can build another house, I can build another family house. And this is something that I've seen. I can build another house to ensure you that we will never be homeless, that you will never lack, that I will take care of you. I've seen men propose with houses and all of that. But when I came into this particular space, and then I start hearing some people, some men talking about she has to bring something to the table, I'm like, what makes you think she wants that? If she's bringing enough for herself, what makes you think she will want to carry another child or a child and feed that child and also have to deal with you not being able to provide? And you want children and you want marriage. Why do you want marriage? Why do you want children when you cannot provide for them?
Well, I can answer that, and then I have a perspective on that as well. Okay, so why do they want marriage, or if they know they can't provide? Because they won't get you to do it. Because you're gonna do all it. What do you bring to the table, knowing damn well that you whenever you're in a relationship, a long-term relationship, marriage, whatever like that, you know damn well what's being brought to the table. Food is being brought to the table, all of this stuff, because men don't like to take care of themselves. Like, they hate having to provide for themselves, so they try to use us to do it for them. So, and I mean, and that goes across all races, really. They use women to ease their life. The things that they don't want to do for themselves, clean up after themselves, make them, keep them living after 50 years old. That's the stuff that's being brought to the table. But they make it seem like, oh, that's what you're supposed to do. No, I don't have to do that. I don't
But
have to
this
do
is
I
the
don't have to
thing.
do that.
This is another topic. If they're expecting all of this, why don't you build yourself financially then before you go after these women then? Because it would be fair if you would be financially stable before you go after women that you want them to provide this kind of services, because it is a service.
Well, they're gonna throw it. They're gonna throw it back in our face and say feminism, and they're gonna say you want to be equal.
Well, that doesn't really answer the question, because that's why I've been seeing a lot of people crying out here talking about feminism. I've done this to them, and feminism, women are being masculine. No, women are not being masculine.
It's
Women
a
are
cop
just,
out. It,
yeah,
it's not answering the question at all because it's a cop out. It's like a straw man argument. You know,
yeah,
it's just to make you feel bad. Or make you feel like that's what your duties are supposed to be. But like I said, I have my dad in my life. I don't have to do that. I don't have to. I don't have to have kids. Do you not like? It wouldn't make you. They try to throw that in your face too. Like, oh, you don't got no man, or you don't have, or you 30, you don't got no kids, you're not married. Uh, why would I want to get married? So I can take care of you? No, get the fuck out of here.
yeah. That's the thing. The thing is, please don't use the F word again, because I'm trying to censor myself. Trust me. That's why I'm thinking about creating. I was talking about last time Patreon, but I think I might as well just do it in YouTube, create a membership group, because in YouTube it's much more accessible instead of going to another broadcast and doing all of that. Better off to do it in YouTube, have a membership there where we can actually speak.
Yeah, I'll pay for a membership because I'm sorry. Okay, let me just think about what I'm saying
Because
before I
with the
say it.
members only, yeah, I think we can really actually talk openly because it is members only. But open like this, we have to like censor ourselves. So with that being said, what did you say? You said about the gaslighting. Yes. Um, the gaslighting is not working. The gaslighting is absolutely not working in their favor mostly. It's just infuriating women more and more.
Yeah, you're right. It's not working anymore. I think it's not working with the. Can I say mammies?
Hmm.
Okay, okay. You say yes. I can say that.
You can just say some ladies. Leave
Okay.
the.
It still works on some of the ladies who still value their opinion, but it's not working on the women who put themselves first.
And it's almost not working generally. To be sincere, it's not working generally. I think the fact that some men have abandoned the tradition of actually providing and want to be taken care of still, and you expect women to actually go to work. I watched a TikTok video one time. A woman was talking about her husband going to golf to play golf, and she had to work, and she was explaining to him what was happening. She's like, "You going to play golf or going for hunting? I have to clean up this house. You sort out your clothes, you throw them on the floor. I have to arrange them back. I have to put them back, remove the dirty clothes, iron, wash, everything. I have to take care of the kids. I have to do that. I have to cook, clean, and feed the children. I have to think about what the children are eating tomorrow in the morning. I have to think about dinner. I have to think about lunch. I have to do all of this. And I also have a job. I have to go work. You have a job as well, but you are not pulling your own weight in the house. I have to take care of you, take care of our children, and I still have to bring something to the house. I have to go and work and also bring money to the house so that it can sustain us with our family. And he was like oblivious, like, oh, maybe she's just angry. I'm like, no, she's not angry. She has the right to say that. Because if you, why don't you just, okay, decide to pay a nanny? She pays, you pay them. But I am not into that 50-50 relationship. I am absolutely not for it. I am not here for it. I am not in support of it because there's nothing 50-50 about a marriage. There is nothing 50-50 about a marriage. Because what
And it kind of goes back to that one video where the lady she works in geriatrics, and she says that like the difference between if the woman dies first, the man he usually um like is right behind. He neglects
I saw
his
that
health.
video.
And then the woman, if the husband dies first, it's like her life is not burdened, and she lives like an additional like 10, 15 years. And she has friends, and she starts traveling, she starts doing the stuff that she wasn't able to do because she was stuck burdened taking care of the children for 20 years, and then taking care of her husband even in his sick days.
This is another thing. Some people,
Weird.
some guys think that women are meant to serve and serve and not be rewarded for anything. That is your position in life. And what, like that video you were talking about, she actually passed before her husband, and some people were making a mockery out of it and laughing and saying that, oh, she married an older guy thinking that she was going to inherit all the things, but she passed away before him. And I'm like, why don't we talk about why the man married her in the first place? Because he was really old. Why
Yeah,
don't
and
we
then
talk
that's the
about that?
second video where the other lady was saying that, like, oh, when the black ladies, oh, can I say that?
Yeah,
um
black ladies, you can say black ladies. Women is good.
okay, when women, um it was specifically us though, but she said that
Black women,
her,
African American, yeah, you can actually say that, but for the men's side, you can't.
okay, that's crazy. But
Yeah.
but okay, so she was saying that her black women friends, who are in their 40s and 50s, they spent their life, not being, a statistic or whatever. And then next thing you know, geriatric Dusty, who already had problems, liver failure, kidney failure, all this stuff, he wants to marry you. And then you're left with all this medical debt. I don't know if you saw that one too, but you're left with all this medical debt because of him. And because he just wants you to take care of him. And that's the reason why they go for younger women, because when they're older, is because naivety, and they want us to be able to have the energy to take care of them.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna say this. If you're watching this video, please like and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, press the subscribe button and also like this video. It helps. Now, with that being said, I'm gonna say this. This is not the first time this has happened. And we know what happens to women when they are sick. You saw the other video that I did when a woman was talking about when a woman is sick, most of the time she's left alone, because mostly they have this excuse that the man, and I'm not saying all men do this, but the man that leave cannot comprehend, cannot come to terms with the wife passing, or with the wife being so ill, they cannot comprehend that. And I'm like, okay, but when you are in that same situation, she's able to comprehend that. And that's where we talk about, a lot of people are saying, oh, men are built differently. No, they are not. They're human beings, they came from women. So it's the fact that a lot of people can excuse it and be like, oh, when a woman is sick, oh, it's another topic. He cannot stand the grief of her being sick. But most women, a lot of women will stand the grief, stay by your side until the end, which is given to me double standard. And when a woman, this is another thing, when a woman does leave in that kind of circumstances, she's been called names. She's been called unfaithful and all of that. Society doesn't see it as she couldn't stand the grief. They would call her selfish and self centered. But some men can do it.
The lady said that it was actually 6 times, when it was pertaining directly to cancer. She said that the man is 6 times more likely to leave his sick wife than
Mm-hmm.
in vice versa. And I find that crazy. Why are you asking me what do I bring to the table if when you're sick, I break my back, I do all this stuff for you, even if you just had the flu, or something like that. I break my back would break my back for you. Make sure that you're that you're good. And then when it's me, you turn your back on me. That's why I said no. Let me no, no way. I don't think that it's not fair, and I feel like I shouldn't put myself in that position.
Exactly. I don't think anyone should put themselves. I feel like society have made it a double standard where, some men can just enjoy themselves, do whatever they like, and women are held to a standard not only by society but also by other women. That's why when I see single women saying they don't want to have the kind of relationship that some married women have, I absolutely understand where they're coming from. A lot of it, and if you've watched most of my shots about what has been happening with the election of women, women being called cat single women, and oh, all these women need to be married. I'm like, no, they don't. No, have you seen TikTok? Have you seen social media? Have you seen all these podcasts? Who are they going to marry?
And do you notice that when they know that the man or whatever is not gonna, they know that they're not gonna be there for you. They try to throw, well, you don't. Why don't you have any? You should want to be. You should want to do it because you should have kids because ain't nobody gonna take care of you. So subconsciously they know that the man is not gonna be there most likely because they have a lower life expectancy than women do. But
I
second of
don't
all, they're
think
like,
even,
oh,
I don't think it's the lower life expectancy. It's the fact that he's not even going to be there even if he's still alive.
yeah. So, but they know that though. That's the thing. They know that, but that's why they try to say, well, you should have the kids because so somebody can be there for you when you're old.
Oh, let me tell you what I hear when I hear you can have the kids. It's giving me, oh, when you have kids and the man is in need, your children are going to put pressure on you and tell you to take care of your father. Because at the end of the day, if the children are still in any kind of relationship that is okay, even though he's not okay with you, and he needs somebody to help him, your kids are going to look up to you. They're going to look to you and be like, that's my dad. Can you take care of him? Why don't you want to take care of him? The blame will go to you. And then you will, by being guilty and being pressured, would actually start taking care of him.
Shit. If my dad wasn't there for me, nursing home you go, and I'm not paying it.
I've actually seen this where the man and the woman were not together and he get old, and because the kids had a great relationship with the dad but totally ignored what happened to their mom, and they said, you know what, you can still get together, two of you can still, you can still take care of him. What, you want him to pass, you want him to, like, go away without you taking care of him? Is my dad. And I understand that two of you didn't, we're not in good terms, but can you at least check up on him and then make it the responsibility of the woman? And this is what it's giving me. It's like, okay, even if you don't want to be with him, have kids that will in future pressurize you to go take care of him.
That's wild. But see what I'm seeing, or hearing, not seeing, but what I'm hearing is the children are saying, well, he wasn't there for me, F him.
Yeah, I've seen that too, because it's this generation, and this is the thing that I like about our generation till to Gen Z, because they were crying about millennial women being single. I'm like, okay, I think millennial stats from 92 or the 90s, sir. If I'm not wrong, correct me.
It's 89 to 96, I believe.
Okay, 89 to 96 are millennials. Okay, and
Or it might be up until 2000 because I think my sister was born in 2000. I think she's a millennial. I think she's a young millennial.
okay, okay, they're crying about millennials being single. And I've seen a lot of single women out there. I'm not about to go tell them, especially these women are women that are well educated and they're doing good for themselves. They're paying they're paying their house rents without anybody's help. They are enjoying their lives. They go on vacations. They, enjoy themselves. They go to restaurants. They pay for themselves, and they enjoy the time with their girlfriends. They don't want to invite stress into their lives. And I'm like, the fact that some people think women should be married so that you can be stressed. And I'm like, no, marriage should not be based on stress. Marriage should be based on happiness and mutual respect for each other. Not because she's 30, not because she's over 25. Now she should be desperate. That trick is not working anymore. A lot of
Yeah,
women are not
it's
buying it anymore.
yeah, it's really insulting. Honestly, it's very insulting. I'm in my 20s, and it's insulting because I'm sitting here. I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing. I'm doing all. I'm paying all this rent or paying for these cars. Have multiple cars and stuff like that, and done paid off my student loan. I done did all of this stuff, and you're telling me, what do I bring to the table? My table is set. Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking?
Exactly.
What are you talking? Oh, you should want to go 50-50. I'm going 100%. I'm not asking. I'm not asking somebody to come in and help me. If it was that case, I could get a roommate. I have a 2-bedroom house, like or townhome. I'm not using the other one other than a dressing room. Ain't nothing in there but some clothes and like what? If I needed 50-50, I would ask somebody to rent out my extra bedroom.
True. And this is the thing. I feel they're failing to actually provide some of these men, not all, but their failure have become something that they use as anger and attacking women. Just because they can provide, just because they can reach to the standards. And I'm not saying all men, and I'm saying some, they use it. And I feel like the most men that have the biggest uh, that have a lot to say are those that do not have but want women to come couple up with them and struggle. Nobody want to be in a struggle relationship nowadays. It is very expensive to have a child. Very expensive. People do not understand how expensive it is. You
I
have to,
heard I heard the ticket for a child is about $400,000.
yeah,
And I don't feel like I just don't. That's why I had to tell my dad, like, look, I just don't think that it's worth it. Like, I don't think that if I don't, I had to ask him, like, if I don't have kids, are you gonna be mad? Because I just don't. If the economy keeps going the way that it's going, it's just gonna be me. The bus ends here. This is the end of the line.
yeah, because it's not easy. And this is the thing that a lot of people do not understand. Asking women to bear children that they have to suffer the consequences for in later on is not gonna boom children production. It's not gonna boom anything. In fact, it's actually gonna lessen that, because when women look at the partners that you are asking them to couple up with, and the partners are not able to provide and take care of, even without them. Let me say this: as an African woman, I'm not looking at my partner right now. I don't ask for anything. I don't pay anything. I don't pay anything at all, because this is the way I'm raised. And he's not complaining about it. He doesn't complain about it. He does it because he knows exactly where he got me from. And this is the thing. He is well aware of my own culture that I am not gonna do it. When I coupled up with him, I made sure to know that he has a house. He is financial the way I was raised, by the way. I made sure that he take the box which they gave me before I even got with him. I make sure that he could take care of the children and me.
Yep. And I feel like those standards that you set for yourself, I feel like I'm late in the game, even though my dad was preaching to me for a very long time from young, preaching to me. I didn't listen, but now it's like I'm taking the advice of what I'm hearing from the divested women, and I'm like start setting these standards for myself. So it's like something so simple as like, you must have your father in your life.
I
And that's
think
what.
I think when people have their fathers in their life, men are more better mentors when it comes to other men and telling you what you shouldn't be going for. I'm not meaning by race and color, because I know in the US it's another topic than is every other place. Normally, every other place they look at, is he doing okay? Why do you think most Asians will ask a man that comes to marry their daughter, what do you do for a living? Africans do the same. A lot of people do it. Apart from the first world, they want to change the whole thing and be like, yeah, you can have that. I'm like, nah, it's not going to work for a long time.
Yeah, I feel like my dad, he gives me freedom to express, but now it's like, no, I'm over here telling my dad, like, whoever I'm dating or whatever, and I bring them around you, because I mean, they're gonna be white, but you're gonna have to lose some of this freedom a little bit, lose some of the freedom that you, and get a little bit more strict, and you need, and because you need to be able to decipher these men too.
Exactly. And I'm gonna say this for my dad. He was that kind of man that would absolutely look at you and be like, what do you do for a living? And he would actually check how much you make, because my dad has five daughters and two boys. So my dad is like, and my cousins, I have a lot of guys as cousins. In my family, we are the only family with girls, that much girls, like five girls. The rest of the family are just with boys. So not only do my dad he had to stand there, my uncle had to stand there. Everybody, every man in my family had to literally stand there when I brought my partner or when my sisters brought their partners. And they were like, what do you do? Because it was male dominated. And they had to like make sure that the girls do not go out and suffer. They had to literally check and make sure that, okay, are you happy with this? Is this okay? And not only that, is it financial able? Is it stable enough financially? And I'm gonna say this: a lot of I'm gonna say this: a lot of men get chased out, especially my own tradition. If you are not doing well, you would see a father actually chasing out a man, running with a weapon or something, trying to, you know, put hands and feet, because it is not a norm that you're coming. My daughter is gonna be your wife. My daughter is gonna be taking care of the kids. I do not want you to come with a low mindset to ask for my daughter hand in marriage and then punish her for the rest of her life because things are not going well with you, and then you are going to take out that frustration on my kid.
I definitely have to start, and I've been doing it, for the, like, since I've known better. I've been doing it where I brag on my dad a lot. Well, not really brag on him, but I always say, like, oh, my daddy didn't tell me to do that.
But
um
some women are going to say your daddy is dusty.
I'm not a.
Even-
That's the thing. I'm not a daddy's girl because, okay, I love my dad. My dad loves me, but I'm not a daddy's girl because I'm the oldest. I was always in leadership position, and with four kids. Four siblings. So I was always in leadership role. I was not someone who was the child that was pampered because I had three other siblings below me. I was the one that
yeah.
was, make sure this, make sure this is that, don't do this, don't do that, don't let them do this, let them do that. Very leadership role. That's why I have the kind of mindset that I have now, as a, like, they would call very domineering or very masculine or whatever like that, because I had to be head. Well, I'm not gonna say head of household, but the third parent in charge.
The third one, yes. I am the second born in my family, and my sister was my elder sister. She was always goofy. She didn't care, and all the responsibility was left on me to make sure that the other ones followed my footsteps, because my father looked at her and he was like, I have given up hope on her, actually setting an example, which actually brought a lot of argument between me and my elder sister. But at the end of the day, my elder sister always comes around. And as the second, I have always been the one that has always make sure that everything is running. I feel like sometimes my relationship with my elder sister is like the House of Dragons between Damon and Viserys. Have you watched it?
Yeah, I definitely had to, because of that, like that kind of like the way that I was raised. And I wasn't raised bad or anything like that, but because of the way that I'm raised, and now I'm like, I have to kind of step into my forcibly step myself into my femininity and be like, no, 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 my daddy. I don't say my dad, my father. Well, I do say, sometimes I do say my father, but I'll be like, my daddy, because that tells you right there. I lived with my dad. My daddy said that I'm not supposed to be messing with um shit dusties like you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you for remembering that. And this is the thing. I think a response. It doesn't matter the color, by the way. If you live with your father, and it's not somebody that is a harmful kind of person and actually genuinely love his children, he will be extremely protective of his, especially daughters. And that is not something wrong.
Oh yeah.
And I come from a home like that. My dad was absolutely protective, but that doesn't mean you get special treatments. It's just he knows what is out there, and he knew that if he just let his daughter loose, it's not that you are in a cage or anything. It's just that you have your opinion, but when he looks at the man you bring, he has a lot of opinions. And if he finds out that he cannot take care of you, and he sees in him that he cannot take care of the children in future, my dad would literally raise hell.
Yep. I also use my dad as a cop out sometimes. Like if I don't want to be the one to like say deal with you, I don't want to, but I don't want to be the one to say it. What I'll do is, like, if I ask you to do something, right? Like say um okay, my I just had to change the brakes on my car, right? So
Mhm.
I asked the dude to do it for me. This wasn't recently, but this was like maybe like 6 months ago. I asked the guy that I was dealing with, Dusty, can he change the brakes on my car, since he knows how to do it. He didn't do it, so I asked my dad to do it. My dad asked me, did why didn't I get the guy that I'm dealing with to do it? Well, I did that on purpose because I knew my dad was gonna ask me that.
Yeah.
And so then I knew know that, because I did ask him, he didn't do it. Oh, why are you dealing with him? Oh, keep going. Hey, because I'm using you right now, sir. So keep going, keep going. Oh, I told you, go ahead, lecture me, because I'm gonna take this lecture back to him and tell him I don't want to deal with you because my dad said that you're not.
For me, I think I
He doing
probably
this. Ain't no point in me dealing with you.
I probably wouldn't give. For me, I think I was a mean
You get what I'm
spirited
saying?
person when I was single, because I was that kind of person that if I am not feeling it, like I don't even call you the next day. It's just gone because of what is already installed in me. It's just I don't have the time. And I feel like
Yeah.
when I look
I
at
wish
my
I had that.
daughter, I think she's gonna have the same attitude as me, where she doesn't even have the time to even argue or think about talking back and forth. She's just gonna probably gonna look at you and just like, no, I don't have time for this.
I wish I had that mentality. I wish I did. I have that now, but if honestly, like I said, I use my dad as a cop out sometimes, because I know that he's gonna lecture me, like, what you gonna do if when you get married, and you gonna call me to come do it, and you have them sleeping in your house.
Yeah.
So so I mean, it's like those kind of lectures right there. And like I said, I use that. I'm like, oh, look, it's not going to work out between us because my dad does this for me and you're not doing it. So you're not about to take me away from my dad or take me away from, the person that is teaching me what manhood I should expect from manhood. No,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Well, I'm not sorry, but I'm just saying, like, no, it's not going to work.
Yeah, but I feel like some men nowadays are just looking for somebody with low self-esteem. I'm not saying all men, but some, because there are some out there that are looking for a woman that actually expect a lot from them, and some are just like, you know what? Yeah, if I have something, I don't want you to have it. If I have something, I want you to sign a prenup. And this is one thing I don't understand with the prenup. Like, my partner has his own law firm, and I'm like, I didn't even have to sign a prenup. How come I didn't sign a prenup? And some women are out here signing a prenup. And I'm like, I understand some people are like, oh, she's going to take all his money. I'm like, why are you marrying somebody that you think is going to take all your money? Why are you making terrible decisions?
Well, maybe okay. So I'm coming from a mindset that like I don't really know better. So don't hang me. But okay, so the way I would see is like, okay, I do get what you're saying. Like, why would you marry someone who needs you to have a prenup? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, okay, I'm successful. I know that um
For
when
women,
you
it's another topic. For women, I absolutely understand if a woman would want a man to sign a prenup. I
yeah.
understand it.
No,
I've
that
seen a
that's the
lot.
only perspective that I look at it from. It's like because I don't
I
want.
think I think for men, prenup should not be signed because emotional damage, having the kids, doing all of that in the house, taking care of the family, you shouldn't have to ask somebody to sign a prenup because you're not the one doing all. If you would be the one doing all of that, taking care of the household, cooking the dinner, taking the kids to school, arranging the clothes.
But that's the thing. Can you hear me?
Sorry, I think there was a disconnection with the internet, so I had to go away to make sure that everything is fixed. I don't know what is happening. I have to call the company later on tomorrow and ask them to come fix this because it's giving me problems. It's the box. So Khadija, you are back on.
I'm so sorry about that. That's me because
You're back
some
on.
sometimes can you hear me pretty good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. Sometimes I'm going from cell tower to cell tower driving, and yeah, sometimes it drops the signal from the phone until it picks up the next cell tower. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so no, what I was saying was that I think it's also the reason why they try to like throw that in our faces is because they try to. Oh, it goes back to them trying to like convince us that's what we're supposed to be doing. Um,
But
so
this
it's
is the
like,
thing. If that's what they think you're supposed to be doing, what do they think they're supposed to be doing?
well, it doesn't matter because it's a patriarchy. Whatever they do is good enough. And
Well, it's not
this
getting
is
up
not
enough
real. I'm
because
just being. I'm in the
it's
mind of a man.
backfiring. It's backfiring. You know how they call the first world countries? It's backfiring. The fact that women, a lot of people are crying about rise of single women and rise of single men. Is backfiring because when you don't actually sort out the problem, you have women actually saying, "I don't want to be in this kind of relationship."
Yeah, you're right. It's like that's why they have a problem with the settling, and it's like there's a desperate need for women to lower their standards. It's a desperate need. Is because and the thing is like when you was just saying, well, why can't you just live up to yours what you're supposed to be doing? Why do you want to like be as low as possible and not achieve? You know,
Hmm.
so, and I mean that doesn't go for just dust. Well, I mean I guess all dusties of all races, but that does go for that just goes for the dusties, not the men who know what manhood is or have
Yeah,
experienced
and
manhood.
and that's why I like the term dust is because it kind of generalize all the dust.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah, you're right. I look, I be learning stuff every day, so I can admit when somebody's being
Like if you
misinformed.
see you remember the Nigerian dancer, the woman that is a dancer, and she is now crying on TikTok that her husband wants to take more money from
Oh
her.
yes, the belly dancer.
Yeah.
Is she from
So
Kenya?
no, she's Nigerian.
She's Nigerian. Okay.
And when I saw that video, I'm like, this is not the first time it's happening. And people feel like, oh, it's not. No, it's not. It is the fact that dusties exist everywhere.
Yeah.
And when where there is a dusty, you have to actually separate dust from actual men.
Yeah.
So it does, dusties can come in any kind of color. But I
Because
understand the majority of dust, the ones that make themselves dust, we understand them. But there are also dusties in the other side. And that lady, I saw her video last time, she was tearing and crying that he wants to take more of her money.
I feel so bad for her. But I let me ask you a question because I'm back out here on the dating scene. Okay, so I'm talking to this guy, and we're just talking online for right now. But I'm talking to this guy, and this guy he said to me after like a couple conversations, he was like, "You have the sexiest eyes." Now I'm not offended, but I do know that you could have used beautiful. So you're looking at me in a sexual desire type way, and we don't even know each other. So I feel like that's a red flag for me, and I feel like that would bring on some dust. I feel like that's a little bit of dustiness
So
because
he
I'm looking
just
for
talked
gentlemen.
about your eyes and nothing else, just your eyes with the sexiest part.
The sexiest. Well, He said that I was fine as fuck. Okay, that was a red flag. And then he also said that your eyes are sexy as fuck. Like, cause no, the sexiest. He said you have the sexiest eyes.
Can you let's not use the F word? I'm trying to
Oh yeah, that's
minimize
right.
it.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So, um, you had the sexiest eyes, and he said that you were very fine. I would, okay, apart from the fineness and all of that, I would think, okay, apart from the sexy and the fine eyes, what else? Because I would ask him, what are you hoping to get out of it? Because I think that's a question a lot of women have to start asking. Okay, I'm sexy, I am very fine, and I've actually had a comedian actually say, she was asking men, would you, what would you like women to actually compliment you on? Most of the men were saying, I want her to tell me I have nice teeth. And I'm like, teeth?
Well, what my
Okay.
the eyes is fine, but the way that certain other men in that I'm talking to compliment my eyes, because I do have like these almond eyes. But the way that they compliment, they tell me that my eyes are unique and they tell me that they're beautiful. But when I feel like someone who just like I match with, like yesterday, starts talking about sexy, like it kind of throws me into a sexual kind of desire type thing.
Was there any other conversation about the sexy topic?
No, because well, no, because I saw that he sent it last night. I saw it this morning, and I said sexy is not beautiful. Because I'm not gonna teach you how to treat me. Like just treat me how you treat women. Just treat me how you whatever you're trying to get out of me. Just treat me like that so I can see it and I can leave you alone.
It could be a
And
double-edged sword because one, he could just be attracted by your eyes and thinking about your genetics and your DNA and whatever. Or it could just be that he actually does find you actually sexy, but he doesn't know how to compliment. But saying sexy in a first chat is giving me, okay, but I would like to know more about how this conversation progress. Does it go into, I want to meet you, or where do you want to meet, or what of the other part? Because if he's telling you let's go on a cheap date, no. If he's telling you, okay, I want us to have a normal date, I take you out, I pay for it, and I
he
drive you home, and I drop you in your, this is the thing, and I drop you at your home, and I drive off. Because this is the thing. If he drops you, he doesn't need to ask you if he should come in. And if he asks you if he should come in, that's a red flag. You should
yeah,
wait
no,
for you to invite him.
yeah, no, that's not gonna happen. I don't want nobody knowing where I stay at. But the he did ask me for on a date, and I looked at the place that he said he wants to go to. It's a bar and grill that serve greasy food like burgers and fries. First of all,
Burgers? No,
when I
absolutely not.
yeah, absolutely not. When I looked at the menu, because I never heard of the place before, it was that like that's exactly what it was given. It was given bacon, burgers, and fries, and I'm not eating that shit.
Not a restaurant?
That's what I'm saying. Like I like pasta. Like I like
No, absolutely not. That is absolutely a red flag. That is a no-go area. A
I don't
hamburger to a
I
first
do not,
date?
right, but I don't want to be in a bar and grill. Like I don't want to be in a bar and grill, on a date. Like that's not a date. That's like something you like, oh, like we're maybe like on an outing, let's go get something quick to eat. It's the daytime. Like we're dressed
That's
up and
something you do with your friends sometimes, and even my friends
yeah.
wouldn't even like it.
Like when you're just like have on some jeans and a shirt and you're already downtown shopping or something, and you just want to grab a quick bite to eat. This is not dinner. This is
Yeah,
not you know it's just something. Oh, we're gonna have lunch here real quick. Have a beer. Well, I don't drink beer, but have some wine or whatever. And they have a beer, and then we get back to the activities at hand. Like that's something for that, but not a first date. Like no way, no way.
that is
I
not
don't.
a first date. That's not a second date. That is not a third date. Because normally you should
That's
ask
an
you where you want
outing.
to go. It should ask you where do you want to go. That's, see, when you want to go on a date. This is something that I'm gonna tell to all my audience. If somebody's asking you on a date and you said, okay, yeah, the first thing you should pay attention to is is he gonna ask you where you want to go, and tell them you want to go to a restaurant. Tell them you want to go to not a bar, not a coffee shop. No, you want to go to a restaurant, and hold your purse because you never know, he might not pay. You might just find out right there, because restaurants is the place that women actually find out who they date, or who they want to get into relationship with. Because when that bill comes up and he's looking at it and he's telling you you have to pay, or we have to share the bill, or he's looking at it and thinking it's a big deal and then asking you he wants to come to your home, that's an absolute red flag. Absolute 100% red flag. But if he takes you to the restaurant, he pays all the bills, and he said, you know what, can I drop you home or can I call you an Uber? And he pays for the Uber. Let me say it again. He pays for the Uber to take you home without following you. And he actually waits till the next day and asks you how you are. That's somebody that want to make sure that you feel safe with him. He actually genuinely likes you, not love, but
Yeah.
likes you enough to actually give you space, because he does not want you to be afraid of him. He
Right.
wants you to actually look at him as a potential partner.
Yeah. And
He wants
I should have known better because of his demeanor. Um, he has like this like gym rat kind of demeanor, wear t-shirts and like stuff like that. Like, and I really try not to judge, but like I should have known this dude looks like a gym rat, doesn't midlife crisis type dude.
Yeah,
Like,
I think I would just pass with the hamburger thing. That's not I would not I would not advise you to go for hamburgers.
oh no,
And
no,
I
I'm
know a
not.
lot of people might be like, oh, why wouldn't you tell her? You don't know if the guy's a good guy and he's just checking
Nah.
around and maybe he doesn't get gold diggers. No, a
And
man
then
that actually, do you think Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos or all these rich men, or many of the rich men, any kind of rich man, not only the mega rich, any man that is actually rich would tell a woman, let's go to a place where we can eat hamburgers?
yeah,
They would
and
not.
I didn't, and I kind of did that, like let him choose where he wanted to take me, and he chose that place. That, like, when I saw, I made it seem like, oh yeah, no, that's okay, that's fine. And but I'm not going. I already chose a different, because I was gonna get a load that was gonna go down south, go home. I chose a load that was going to Wisconsin, so I'm not going home. So I'm not going on the date at all. But I'm gonna blame it on the job, because I'm not attracted to it. And
You are
he's
a better person than me.
he's an older guy, like, and he like a little bit older than I am. He's in his 40s, and so like I just was like, just just stepping my feet in, and
I know, but
holding
you are a better
conversation.
person than me, because I would have just ghosted you and just block or actually unmatched you. Like
Yeah.
I would have I would have just done that and move on, because I would not even want the headache.
Right.
Hamburger place. You are inviting somebody on a first date. It is for you to impress that person.
Yeah.
Impression is the first. And when you're telling somebody hamburger, it's giving me, I don't really care. I think you don't deserve to be in a fancy restaurant looking nice and beautiful. I'm looking for something else.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
your beauty is not essential.
Yeah. And one thing I heard, I think it was Yanni that said it. She was like, if he comes with burgers and fries, that it only goes there and lower.
Yeah, and she's right. She's
So
absolutely right for that. It will get lower, because if he thinks a first date, your first impression is hamburgers, yeah, I think you're gonna be cooking on your second date in his house.
yeah, nah, nah, I'm not going. Mm-mm. Nope.
What
Nope.
did you say is her name again? Who was that?
Say it one more
Who
time.
was The person you said talked about if he's talking about hamburgers.
It was Yanni. It was Real Talk with Yanni.
Oh, I've heard of her. Okay.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, she was just saying because he was commenting on the girl that was supposed to be going to the movies with the guy for the first date, and he stopped at Dollar Tree to get the snacks.
Okay, then she's right. I would not oppose that because the thing is, no hamburgers for first date. It would
Yeah,
just get worse.
but
And
I
I
don't.
absolutely agree with it.
Yeah, but I don't eat hamburgers. Like I don't. Not no offense to the hamburgers, but it's just like I probably maybe eat two hamburgers a year. I don't eat hamburgers,
I
so
don't even. This is the thing. I think we are almost common. I eat steak,
yeah, I like.
nice
Oh, I love steak.
steak, but hamburgers, nah. My
Nah,
partner eat a hamburger sometimes, and I'll be looking at him like, nah. But
nah.
my steak is so important to me that my partner sometimes makes sure there is enough steak at home.
Yes, I love ribeye. Like in the truck, I make steak. Like I buy $40 worth of steak, and I eat steak like 3 days in a row. Like
Three
fresh
days, I
steak.
eat it every day. I'm like addicted to steak. My partner, I remember my first ex, he was like, you like steak so much. My partner now is like, yeah, I'm kind of used to it. I think every person that I ever dated knew, my exes knew steak was the love of my life,
Yeah,
and you cannot play with me with steak.
it has to be a ribeye. Like it has to be a ribeye. Like I need to. It has to be ribeye. Like I can't. Like I don't know. I'm not because, and that's the thing is like, like why do you want me to like eat what I don't eat? I
Yeah.
don't like. I like salmon. I like
Okay, Kenja,
scallops.
I think we are gonna go soon because it's quite a long time and the ladies have left.
Yes.
I think they don't find it interesting anymore. So we're gonna leave it till next time. I
Okay.
think both of us should have a different conversation out of the topics because they feel left alone and I feel like they feel a little bit isolated from the topic.
Well, they should
So
come. They should have come up to the thing and express their views. Cause I'd be wanting to hear other people's perspective. Like,
me too. I always want to hear them too. So now we're gonna go back, and I'm gonna say this. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you have anything to add to the topic, please let me know. And also, don't forget to press the like and subscribe button. And concerning the other topics, if you want to actually come up and actually have a normal conversation or personal conversation with me, you're always free to do that. Now, with that being said, I'm going to say this. Thank you all for joining us and have a great day and goodbye.
bye, Karen. Bye bye.
Bye.